Welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shefford, along with my good friend.
Artemis Brower.
We're coming to you this week with episode 234 of the Boneyard Podcast, everybody.
Yes,
Artemis. Artie, you are in sunny California. Love seeing the sun still out with you right now. How are we doing, my brother?
About to cook up some dinner here. I was actually making dinner right before we got on, so I'm looking forward to that. Some mac and cheese, got some cabbage, got some chicken waiting for me, so we're good, man.
There you go. I'll say, I lived on the West Coast and you're not living there now, but I lived on the West Coast for a bit, for about close to a year. I'll say, everybody talks about the best time zones to live in. If you're a sports fan, there's no better time zone than living in the West Coast.
You can get everything.
The
last game goes off at like 9, 10 o'clock. So, yeah.
It is like during football season, when you wake up and it's 9 a.m. and you're about to kick off at 9 a.m. and guess what? You're going to go all day. But when the last game's over, that 8 o'clock game is over on the East Coast. That's what, 11 o'clock? Guess what? You still got 3-4 more hours before you got to go to bed. It's perfect. If you're a fan of an East Coast team on the West Coast, it's amazing. You put the game on while you're like your last hour of work, that 4 o'clock, 4:30, and you don't do anything the rest of the day. Yeah. You just watch sports for the last 30, 45 minutes of your day. West Coast is I don't even think that's a hot take. I just think that it's the best time zone for watching sports. I'm not saying it's the best time zone, but it's the best time zone to watch sports in.
I wish I was out here during football season to be able to catch like a football Sunday on the West Coast. I'm sure that's marvelous to catch a football Sunday on the West Coast.
I would wake up, pour myself a bowl of cereal,
watch football at like 9 a.m.
and watch football at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Then when it came time for like the 3 o'clock slate, guess what? I would go grab some lunch, maybe pop up at a bar, eat lunch at a bar, and watch the mid-afternoon games. And then after that, I was watching the Sunday night football at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's perfect. It's perfect. All right, Artie. Episode 234.
Keep cranking these things out.
So it's a lot of episodes.
Yes, it is.
But all right, let's get into it. Do you have a number 34 for me?
You know, for the sake of not doing chalk, I don't have a 34. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at these guys at 34, and it's like I can't say Hakeem, I can't say Ray Allen, I can't say
Shaq.
Yeah, it's just too many chalk. So you know what? I'm gonna leave 34 vacant for the week. I'm pretty sure I've talked about at least two of these guys before. So.
I will. All right, I'll be honest. I had never heard of this guy before my research, about an hour before the podcast, and I was like, "This one's a little apropos to do this week." Any guesses?
What's the sport?
Baseball.
Hell no, I got no guess.
All right, hey, Chicago native.
Okay.
Fellow Gemini. His birthday's 5 days after mine. 1965 World Series champion, Artie.
Mm.
He has one of the worst wins above replacement for the number 34 on Baseball Reference. I'll say that. Like I said, won the World Series in 1965. He had like I think he played 10 years in the league. About 12. Played 12 years in the MLB. 210 at bats, 475 hits for a 225 batting average. Only 32 home runs. He didn't hit for contact and didn't really hit for power either. Not the greatest slash lines, but I chose this guy. What?
I said, what did he hit? He didn't hit for contact. He didn't hit for power. Then what did he hit for?
He didn't hit. 6 foot tall, 185 pounds. Played third base, shortstop, and second base for the Washington Senators. Also played for the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Brewers, and the Red Sox. Finished his career with the Red Sox. I'm going with none other than the man himself, John Kennedy. And not the president. So
real ones we want to talk about there.
Kennedy.
Love it.
I see Josh smiling. Josh, you know the reference?
Real ones know.
Kennedy.
I don't know that reference.
Oh, Josh, you don't know the reference, man.
I don't know the reference. I'm sorry.
The Mr.
Oh,
Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love that shit.
That was so long ago, man. That was so long ago.
That was a minute.
Good call out, Artie.
Yeah,
those of you watching at home that get it,
WWF for the old ones.
Look,
that was my stuff.
I was a WWE guy. Yeah, up until I don't know when they started going PG. That's when I was like, yeah, this is for me.
Yeah, that's true.
I just feel like the storylines are all watered down now, and
I tune in every now and then. I dibble dabble every now and then just to keep.
It's nice that it's on Netflix now, man.
Yeah. But I used to be like that was like religion.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Did you ever go to a WWE event?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to Survivor Series when we came to Greensboro. Pretty sure we went to King of the Ring in 01.
Went to Vengeance. I was at the Vengeance with DX back in Charlotte.
Oh yeah, we went to about 3 or 4 WWE events growing up.
SmackDown, Raw.
I just went to SmackDown and Raw.
When was that? Where?
It was in Charlotte when I was like 10.
Oh, I thought you were saying like
No. Well, they did that. I think they were recording like some Saturday show that they had for a while.
No,
like
I thought you were saying that. I thought you were saying that you went like last week.
Oh, no.
Oh. No, I could. Yeah, WWE was that when you're 10 years old.
Yeah.
And you've got like your friends and you've got a trampoline in the backyard.
Oh, doing reckless stuff. We were out. We didn't even need a trampoline. We were just out there just doing the most reckless, dumb stuff. WWE moves, giving people heart attacks. We'd
stack a bunch of boxes outside the trampoline and like throw people through it like it was a table.
Yep.
Dude, my buddies had like thumbtacks and they were like, "Yeah, let's do this." I was like, "Y'all are idiots."
No, we was not going to thumbtack. We was not going ECW. No, we was not.
I remember very vividly for whatever reason believing that my parents would let me buy a $2,000 like actual wrestling ring and put it up. I lived in a double wide, Artie. Like what? I was looking at like turnbuckles.
Put it right there in the backyard.
I was like, "Oh, it'll pay for itself." I'll put that. This is when YouTube was starting to come around, and I was watching like the other trailer
wrestling and
other trailer park kids do backyard wrestling, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'm gonna monetize it." That's when I first started thinking about the content game. Oh, jeez. All right, Artie. It's March Madness. We're gonna talk a little bit ECU real quick, but we're really gonna spend the majority of the podcast talking about March Madness.
Yeah.
Let's just run through some of the notes around ECU athletics. First off, men's basketball. The vision for the run was there, but it didn't happen. You squeaked by UTSA. What a cover! What a cover by the boys. That dunk with half a second left to cover the spread was absolutely beautiful. Some people on the wrong side of a bad beat there, but ECU beat UTSA in their first game of the conference tournament, and then went on, like, vibes were high going into UAB, just for it to, like, completely crash down.
Yeah.
So,
like, the writing was on the wall when we were playing UTSA, though, because that game was a little closer than it should have been. Like, UTSA had a legitimate chance to beat us. I watched that game. I stayed up, watched that game. They had a legit chance to beat us in that game.
Can we talk about that too?
Like that was a game that we really could have put to bed. RJ played well. I forget the other kid's name. He was jumping out the gym, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. But outside of those two, I mean, it was open season. We couldn't get a defensive rebound. We couldn't get an offensive rebound. The amount of second chance points that UTSA got was driving me, like, nauseous. I was getting nauseated by seeing that. That's basically how they stayed into the game. That game was the writing on the wall. Like, okay, we're not going to have anything for UAB. We're not.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of Jordan Riley.
Yes. Thank you.
But Jordan Riley was he was on something.
He was jumping off the gym.
Like,
he was insane.
Just an absolute baller. On, I guess that was that Thursday night, Friday night? I don't even know.
Last Thursday. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, that felt good. Like, to get that win, to squeak, like, even though it was closer, I feel like I know the first game, or I know that one game was very high scoring. I don't remember the score off the top of my head against UTSA, but I feel like we played them close all year long. But yeah, I had faith that we would do something against UAB, but we just couldn't get it together. Like, the first 10 minutes of that game, I felt really good. The next 30, not so much.
UAB put up 94 points against the Pirates. The Pirates had only given up 94 points one other time, and that was against Temple in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, they really put it on us. They really put it on us.
I thought that UAB had Memphis dead to rights.
For sure.
On the championship game. But, hey, I mean, let me say this. Before we talk about March Madness later, Memphis, there's a couple teams that look like frauds in the field. Memphis might be one of the most fraudulent teams. Yeah, they won a weak American Athletic Conference. Yeah, they're ranked in the top 25. They probably shouldn't be. The fact that almost every single one of their games in the conference tournament was close, and I thought they could have lost every single one of them, especially when you're playing the likes of Wichita State, who, I mean, they beat you earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in Penny Hardaway's Tigers. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Now watch them go on a run.
Watch them. I was talking to somebody about it earlier. I was like, yeah, like, I don't believe in them. But they made a good point. Like, that's one of those teams that kind of has that luck, right? Like, they just kind of have that luck about them.
I mean, I'm rooting for Memphis, man. I like Penny. They're an American Athletic Conference team. I'm rooting for Memphis. I hope they want to run. I really do.
Oh no, man. I'm tired of their fans.
Oh, we're tired of everybody's fans, but I like the program.
Like Memphis is the, dare I say, the NC State of the American Athletic Conference. Always doing less with more.
Are they?
Always doing.
I don't know if I agree.
I mean,
maybe just because I haven't paid attention to Memphis fans like that. They're not nauseating like State fans.
Oh, I don't know. They all think that they deserve to be in a better conference, and I don't know. They haven't really done anything to, other than basketball. But like, you're in the American Athletic Conference. Like, chill out.
They're doing better than we are. So,
but they'll end up going like 8-4 on the season in football after everybody's picking them to go like 11-1, 12-0. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but
yeah,
they always just kind of like crap the bed when it comes time for it. Like, I don't know, the fact that we beat them twice with Bicep Mike in overtime tells me all I need to know.
Classic. If you want to get your spirits up about ECU football, go watch those two previous ECU Memphis football games. Classics.
Absolute, yeah. I mean, those are instant classics on college football 2013.
You know, I played football, and I don't think I've ever ran more on a football field than during that multiple overtime game, going back and forth, trying to get to a spot. But then some people are just staying in their spot because they're like, all right, it's coming back. We're not really, this ain't going to be the last one. I'm like, man, trying to make sure you catch every single one.
My favorite was in the press box for that last game in Dowdy when they played, and Brian Bailey walking across the field in between overtimes, and the PA in the press box just saying, he's at the 40, the 35. It was the longest trip to the end zone that I've ever heard in my life. But no, that was just two instant classics. And the fact that the first one gets you bowl eligible for the first time in however many years, that was just icing on the cake. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on Memphis. Josh, what were your thoughts on the American tournament?
I thought it was all right. After ECU was out of it, for the first time in really a long time, I actually lost interest after ECU was out. But I do think that UAB outperformed themselves against North Texas. And I also think that they outperformed themselves against Memphis. But I don't know.
I think if North Texas beats UAB, I think they win the conference tournament.
And I think best 2 out of 3 UAB beats Memphis, honestly. But
yeah, Memphis has played everybody in the conference, most teams in the conference, pretty close all year. Heck, they beat us by 4 in their own barn. And that was when we were like down.
Yeah.
Right. Like they scraped by East Carolina, and it came down to free throws like at the end. Like that was it. We had a chance to send it to overtime. And I don't know, man. They're gonna get beat. I got them out in the first round. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
Josh, don't give me that look. I know you got them out in the first round too.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I know you do. I already peeped your bracket, my dude. All right. Baseball. After a 5-0 week, it all came crashing back down to reality on what was that, Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
ECU loses to UNCW at Segra Stadium in Fayetteville. Look, I'm not so concerned about it. I'm going to say what I've said all year long already. Like, we're 5 weeks through the season. Look, this team is so young, and it's not an excuse, but they just got to figure it out when it comes to being patient at the plate. I mean, I believe we struck out like 15 times, right? Like the amount of times that we're striking out, that you lose that with wisdom, with maturity. I'm not saying that this team is immature. I'm just saying they're not used to being pitched to like they are in college. It's a different ball game, no pun intended, when you come from high school into college. And you've got guys, now you've got film, right? Like you had film in high school, but like you got film and guys are like, they got a true scouting report on you. They're watching every pitch that you see. If you're a batter, they see what you like to go after. They see what you want to hit. They see like what you can't hit, and they're gonna throw it at you. And you gotta counteract them. So give it time. Look, I'm not saying that we're not going to Omaha. I don't think it's the year. I'll be honest. But this team has the making to be special for the next 3 to 4 years.
And I concur because they're young, and winning a conference obviously is still on the table, right? We kind of righted the ship a little bit, sitting at 12-9. I agree, it's not the year. We're not going to crack through the Omaha, but being a postseason team, yeah, I mean, par for the course for ECU baseball.
I'm gonna love so much when
we're there.
When for whatever reason we go on a miraculous run. It is the year that we crack through to Omaha. That would be our luck.
This will be the year, right? Like the year where we actually don't look like really much of anything, and then we just make some money. That would be the baseball guys saying, "This is how it was going to happen."
Now I saw a projection I think about a week or two ago from D1 having East Carolina in the Winston-Salem regional. Give me all of that.
Yeah, that's good for us.
It's good for me. I gotta drive 5 minutes. No, I just don't. I think that it's gonna take a little bit of time with this squad. You can see the glimpses of it. They put some things together here and there, but when it all comes crashing down, it all comes crashing down, and you have these games here and there where you just can't get anything done, whether it's on the mound, whether it's at the plate, and those games hurt you, right? And that was what we saw Tuesday night, or I didn't see it because you couldn't watch it anywhere other than a couple people streaming it on X, the Everything app, live. So we'll see. I'm not losing sleep over it. I think that I'm just going to enjoy the ride of the 2025 season.
Right. Enjoy it for what it is.
And then conference play starts tomorrow.
Right. And the conference is still up for grabs. It's not like we can't win a conference. It's not like postseason baseball is not within our reach. It's still very much there. So
I'll say it's not happening. It's not going to happen this year. Rice needs to be good in baseball. Rice has a storied history in baseball, and them hiring David Pierce, former Texas head coach, the head coach that brought Texas to East Carolina for the Super Regional a couple years ago. He's now the head coach at Rice. So that's a good coaching hire in the American Athletic Conference. So just throwing that out there. ECU Memphis tomorrow night, 6:00 inside the friendly confines of Clark LeClaire Stadium. And then you'll have Memphis Saturday also on Saturday at 4:00, and then on Sunday at noon. And then Friday already, or no, not Friday, Tuesday already. Look at me. Tuesday already going to see your boys out there in Durham.
Oh, okay. Little DPAP action.
No, it's going to be at Jack Combs Field. If you've ever been there, if you've never been there, it looks like a high school stadium. It's a cool place to watch a ball game, but you would think that the Dukes of the world would have a little bit more than what they got.
This is true.
Josh, anything you got to add before we move? Real quick, I wanted to mention. I don't. Do you have the name of the girl that's going to go to the NCAA championships for diving? Guzman.
Frida Guzman. Yeah, Frida.
We need to get her on. We need to do more Olympic sports stuff.
Hey, look, we had swimming and dive on once before. We can get it on again.
That was a rough time. That was awkward. I'll say that now. That may have been the most awkward interview that we've ever done on the Boneyard podcast.
No, we've definitely had a more awkward one,
but I mean, that was right after they announced that they were cutting swim and dive.
Yeah.
And the coach, we had like 6 people on.
We did. We had a lot of them on. We had like 2 or 3 guys, 2 or 3 girls. Yeah.
We had coaches. It was really strange. Just the layout, because everybody was trying to talk, but then we didn't know what we were doing. It was early during COVID. But then like the guys' team got cut and the women's team got brought back because Title IX. And yeah, it was just like, oh boy. So it was a bad feeling when we were talking to them. Josh, do you have something?
Nope, nothing to add.
All right. What's next?
March Madness. The madness that is.
Love it. Yeah. Guys, you can still join our bracket challenge. I think Artie and I, we've decided, we were texting. We were going to record last night and we were going to announce this last night. It just didn't work out. Yeah. $100 gift card to the winner. Join our bracket challenge. We've posted a couple links. We'll post another link tonight. Join it. If you win our bracket challenge, $100 gift card. We'll say we'll do Sup Dogs again this year. I feel like that's always a favorite. And last year Artie won, so we didn't have to buy anything. So if you can beat one of the 3 of us,
I got nothing. And this is true. I got nothing. So
Artie, I'll tell you right now, Artie's not looking great so far.
No, I'm not. Well, look, I mean, yeah, I'm looking okay. I'm looking okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
Josh, I'll let you kind of lead the discussion here.
All right. Well, we'll start with bracket talk. Who do you guys have winning this tournament so far?
I'm pretty sure I picked Duke. I'm pretty sure that's who I picked. I'm pulling my bracket up right now for the one that I put in Boneyard podcast, because I got multiple brackets. Yeah, I picked Duke for this one. Obviously, I'm a homer, but I really do think at full strength they are the best team of basketball outside of maybe Auburn, possibly Florida, but I think Duke is the best at full strength.
I think Florida is the strongest team right now. I know a lot of people like Duke. Duke has looked very good all year. They've beaten their competition when they needed to beat them. Mm-hmm. I understand. But I also think that they haven't had a consistent run of this strength of schedule that they're going to hit in the tournament. And with Cooper Flag maybe not being 100% healthy, I just don't think that they're going to be consistent enough to pull out every single game.
I agree. I think Florida right now is playing the best basketball in the country. And I think that their road to the Final Four and really their road to the national championship game, it seems very doable. And go ahead, Artie.
No, I was going to say, like, looking at the bracket, I feel like their second round matchup would be easy or harder than their third round Sweet 16 matchup, possibly. Or would that be Elite Eight?
Their second round matchup.
Yeah, their second round matchup to me would be harder than their Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If Arizona makes it to Duke, man, I think I'm willing to say Arizona can pull it off. I know they didn't do it earlier this season, right?
It depends. It depends on what version of Arizona you're getting. I've seen a little bit of Arizona basketball, right? You got Caleb Love and the boys out there. That really depends on what version of Arizona you're getting. If they come up inspired, Caleb Love is hitting the shots, the other guys are hitting their shots. Yeah, they can beat Duke. But if they are playing at 80 or 90%, they're gonna get run out the building. Like they got to play their best basketball.
Don't look now. We got an upset brewing. Drake over Missouri.
Don't want to talk about it.
Neither do I. Luckily, I only had Missouri going to the round of 32.
How much time was left in that game?
A minute.
Minute 16. Oh, you only got 1 minute?
I got a minute 8.
Okay.
Down 6.
Yeah, 61-55. I see that.
Also, don't look now. Omaha's up 7-0 on St. John's.
Hey, these early opens, fellas, the bets that you are probably missing out on.
Live bet.
Yeah.
No, just winners after the first 4 minutes. I hit a 7-leg parlay today, plus 2,917 on just betting who was going to be winning after the first 4 minutes. March is mad.
So wait, you wait to place your bet until 4 minutes into the game?
No. It's a pregame bet.
And so
betting
to see who's going to be ahead.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And if they're tied, it's a void. But you still, if it's 7, so that's what happened to me. One game was tied, but they gave it to me on the parlay. Didn't change my odds.
Interesting. What book you got that on? Is that FanDuel?
FanDuel, yeah. I am a sponsor of FanDuel. I wish they would sponsor me.
I've been on a DraftKings kick, but I think we're shifting it. Yeah, I like Florida.
Okay.
Like getting back, I think right now they're the best team in the country. Their toughest matchup, I agree with I believe it was Josh that maybe said it. If they have to play UConn in the second round, that's a tough draw in the second round, but I think that they've got the resume to do it.
Yeah, I mean UConn or Oklahoma would be a tough draw.
Oklahoma. We have all the talk about Carolina being one of the frauds in the tournament. Oklahoma does not belong in the NCAA tournament.
Louisville didn't belong in the tournament.
Like,
why didn't Louisville belong in the tournament?
The ACC really should have probably been a 2-bid league.
I'm just joking. I think Louisville had a great season.
I mean,
it should have been probably.
Louisville was a top 10 team in the polls. What are you talking about? What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, that confused the hell out of me. What are y'all talking about? Louisville didn't belong in it.
They shouldn't have been an 8. They should have been higher than an 8 seed.
I get not being a high seed, but not being in the tournament is ridiculous. Though.
Did Georgia belong in the tournament?
I mean, the SEC got 55 teams in or some shit.
Teams with losing records in conference play.
Yeah,
but yeah, Georgia. I think Georgia was a year off from really being ready for the stage. But that was a bad loss. That was a bad loss.
That was they got embarrassed by Gonzaga today. I had that on in the background when I was at work, and I was like, "Come on, Georgia!" I was expecting a little bit more from Georgia. They didn't put up no fight whatsoever.
I have little faith in a lot of the SEC teams in this tournament. my least.
Your top heavy SEC is legit.
Yeah. The Auburns, the Floridas,
Tennessee, Alabama.
Tennessee, Alabama, and I would even say possibly Texas A&M in there. I have Texas A&M going a decent way.
All right, fellas, take a look at your brackets real quick. Let me know what is the best matchup that you have picked in your bracket. Like, what game are you looking forward to seeing the most on your bracket? Because mine is easily, if they both win first round, Marquette versus Michigan State. I think Marquette, Michigan State is going to be a great game if it happens.
My bracket as a whole. Hold on.
Yeah, Artie, I keep looking at your bracket. It's different, man. You made some picks.
Picks were made.
You picked some teams, man.
It's March Madness, man. I don't come in here with a strategy. I pick how I feel.
So it's got to be a matchup that we have. So
yeah. It's
not a potential matchup.
Nah, one that you actually have on your bracket.
Honestly, I'll say the one that I'm looking forward to the most is in the Sweet 16. I even feel like that's like I don't feel like crazy about any of these. Like I like in the Elite Eight I have Duke, Alabama, but in the Sweet 16 I have Texas A&M and Auburn. Seeing that game again, Texas A&M got them the first time. I'm kind of high on Texas A&M right now. Don't ask me why. I have a gut feeling.
I would say riding that Texas A&M wave, Michigan, Texas A&M in the round of 32. Next round, that would be the one I'd like to see. Because if Michigan can pull that game off, they might be geared for a run. They might be geared for a run.
Let me just say I got Texas A&M in the Elite Eight.
So let me just say I don't have Michigan winning the first round.
They could lose to San Diego. They could.
That's the. I saw a lot of people picking that as an upset, and I don't. That's not the one I would have picked. I took the VCU route, and we all saw how that worked out for me earlier.
I took VCU as well. Don't worry.
I will say I had McNeese State. Shout out to that.
I took every 12 except for McNeese State because Will Wade to NC State.
I don't know, man. Could Will Wade go to Texas?
I think NC State would sue him. That would be the first act of the new chancellor would be to sue Will Wade.
Over what? There's no ink on paper.
How do you know that there may be no ink on a contract, but there could be an ink on a memorandum of understanding with the agent?
I mean, I would have to get Brandon on here to explain all the legal terms to me, but surely there's a way to get out of that.
Yeah, buy out the contract.
But there's no contract.
Well, I'm saying it would be buying out whatever the potential. Like it's probably written. Like if I were an AD and I'm hiring a coach who's in the tournament right now, like if they're set to go, like a condition of them taking this job is like we get a deal with the agent to lock in some kind of mechanism to make sure.
You don't think Texas can pay whatever they want to get him out of that?
I think they can. I mean,
and they would.
But I'm just saying, NC State, Will Wade.
I would love nothing more than these NC State fans who've been on the Will Wade train for the last 2 weeks to have this idea that he's already agreed to become the next head coach of NC State men's basketball, and then him make a decent run and maybe make it to the Sweet 16. I'm not saying they're going to. And then, oh, wait, I've actually chosen to go somewhere else. I'm taking my talents to Austin. I would love that.
That would be an asshole move. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Why? It happens all the time. It's happened to us.
All the time. It doesn't mean it makes you a good person. That would be an asshole move.
Nah, I would love that.
All right, fellas, let's go ahead and hit the gambling corner for this week. We got 6 games, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, we got 6 games on the slate. All are ECU or North Carolina related. My goodness, this is bright. All of them are North Carolina related or ECU. And our first game is none other than the ones who really shouldn't be there. UNC versus Ole Miss. UNC is a 1.5 point favorite.
I don't know how.
Who would have thought? 1.5 point favorite, and they're minus 112 to win. And then you've got Ole Miss at plus 100. So you guys take your pick on that bet.
I mean, Ole Miss at plus 100. That's an easy decision for me. Now, watch me say that, and UNC is going to go on a run to the Sweet 16. But the smart bet is to take that Ole Miss bet. Cash it.
Cash the Ole Miss plus 100. I understand. My bracket, I believe I've got Ole Miss taking that one. So, gonna say true to myself, Ole Miss.
Artemis?
I concur. Ole Miss. I was really, for obvious reasons, I was really hoping San Diego State was going to pull that off, but they ended up getting drubbed. But give me Ole Miss.
All right, game number 2. North Carolina relation here. We've got Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's as a plus 7,000 underdog. And then you've got none other than Duke, number 1 seed, a 100,000 minus 100,000 favorite. The spread
that's not a typo, is it?
That is not a typo. I checked it multiple times.
Wow.
I had to keep looking.
I had to squint to. There's 5 zeros there.
There are 5 zeros. Yes. 32.5 point underdog, which is the biggest underdog in the first round. So they must really believe in Cooper Flag. I mean, who's not taking Duke? If you don't take Duke on this one, you're being weird. Stop being weird.
Duke without Cooper Flag should win this game by 30. So yeah, take Duke.
Guys, real quick, a little bit of, I guess it's a little bit of breaking news, significant news. On the NIL front, basically, Garrett Blackwelder, who has ties to ECU basketball, played for ECU. He recently sold his company Grover Gaming for over $1 billion. He and his wife just announced that they're matching all NIL funds donated for basketball. So just putting that out there.
Wow.
This is their second time doing this, guys. Don't miss out on the opportunity this time to make something great.
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe Artie and I will donate $100 in your name to Team Boneyard.
Team Boneyard. NIL. Let's get the collective going.
Should we do that instead of a
It might be a
Sup
little
Dogs.
better. Yeah, it's, anybody can go to Sup Dogs. Let's get the collective going.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sup Dogs does donate to Team Boneyard.
It's true, but
I don't know. Maybe we'll put up a poll.
we're trying to be one of them ones. We got to put in the work to be one of them ones. So.
Maybe we'll put up a poll. All right. Sorry to derail. I saw that just come across my desk.
Shut up.
All good. The one team that ECU actually lost to this season, and has shown us why we lost to them. UNCW. That they're actually the next bet. UNCW is plus 920. Texas Tech is minus 1800 and a 15.5 point favorite.
Look, I took Texas Tech in my bracket, but that is to take nothing away from the season that UNCW has had.
Yeah,
they've been phenomenal all year. Like, if you really look at some of the teams that ECU played early in the year in the non-conference, there are a lot of teams that went on to have really good seasons. So just throwing that out there. But UNCW, I took Texas Tech in my bracket. If I'm trying to make some money, I might put a little bit of coin on UNCW.
I like
just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. Not too much, right? But
yeah, just a little dabble.
Just a little dip. Well, my bracket has UNCW into this game, and I'm not leaving them, nor will I forsake them.
Preach, brother.
UNCW.
Hey, March is made for upsets. Ain't none of us gonna be shocked at this point by seeing Wilmington beat Texas Tech, but I don't see it happen. I think Tech got this. I think they build. Now Wilmington's gonna be competitive though. I don't think this is gonna be a runaway. I think they will give Tech some trouble, but I think Tech wins.
Hey, my biggest thing is that Texas Tech didn't win the Big 12, and if you couldn't do that, you're liable for an upset.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Next up, we've got the ECU connection. Probably this is the second ECU connection because they are our conference foe in number 4 Memphis, who is a 2.5 point underdog to Colorado State, who is the 13th seed out of the Mountain West Conference.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was alluded to earlier.
It's the 12 seed, but yeah.
Oh, 12 seed, my fault.
All good.
It was alluded to earlier. I am Colorado State forever.
Yeah. I got Colorado State winning this game. I talked about it earlier. I think Memphis is fraudulent. And you look at it, Vegas agrees.
Memphis is 2.5 point dog.
They got Memphis as a 2.5 point dog. I mean, Colorado State's minus 125 from what I'm seeing now. It's moved a little bit closer to the center on DraftKings, but I'm seeing the spread's a little bit closer to it. It's 1.5 now, not the 2.5. But yeah, I like Colorado State.
Did Colorado State win the Mountain West Conference? Did they win their conference? Or they?
No.
They didn't. Okay.
Who won that conference?
How good was that conference? They got multiple teams out of it.
I mean, they always get multiple teams, and I saw a bunch of people from the ACC talking crap about San Diego State. Look, San Diego State had a pretty decent.
I mean, they've been in the tournament like 4 or 5 straight years. Went to the Final Four.
It's something like over the last 2 years, they have the second most wins in the NCAA tournament behind UConn.
We're not going lock on this one. I'm going Memphis. Memphis is going to win, and I'm going to say Memphis wins by double digits. I'm going to say Memphis wins by double digits.
Yeah, Colorado State lost to Boise State in the final of the Mountain West Conference, but Is Boise even in the tournament though? They've got to be, right?
Yeah. Unless do they have a ban on them for something?
Maybe.
You said Boise won the conference?
Yeah, Boise won the conference. Boise won 69-56 over Colorado State.
They are not in this field.
They are not in this field.
Yeah, they gotta have a ban.
What did Boise do?
Gotta have something. Because that's an automatic.
Boise State ban.
I'm actually curious about that.
They got snubbed? Wait, hold on, wait.
The Mountain West has banned Boise. No, wait, that's about them wearing their all blues.
But one of your conferences is an automatic. That's your automatic.
Yeah.
So.
And they beat St. Mary's and Clemson this year. They were the first 4 out. How do you win your conference tournament and not get an automatic qualifier?
They were in the first 4. Wow. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Colorado State was a higher.
Hold on, wait.
That doesn't make any sense.
What are we talking about?
Wait. So there's an article that says that they lost to Colorado State in the finals, but I'm looking at the Mountain West Conference's website, and it says the opposite.
Something not right here.
Is the Mountain West Conference a fraud? Come on, guys. Like, there's no way you got this wrong on your own website.
Is that true? That were they a first 4 in team? Was Boise
All right, ESPN has Colorado State beating Boise State 69-56.
Okay.
So the Mountain West Conference has
the Mountain West Conference has it wrong on their website.
On their website. Wow. Now that's a walk the plank.
Is this a first? Or are we like?
It's the first live walk the plank.
If you're watching this on Twitter, tag the Mountain West Conference right now underneath this episode, like in the comments. Tag the Mountain West Conference so we can tell them directly.
Like, you guys are seeing this, right? Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah. I was reading the same thing that you were reading. You would think.
Okay, I thought I was going crazy. I just want to make sure the whole world can see it now. Like, it's not just me. All right, we can move on.
That's absolutely wild.
We can move on. There is no lock on Colorado State winning, though, so that will be something to watch. The next game. Big news for me is that I will be at this game, actually. Oklahoma, number 9, underdog to UConn, 5.5 point spread on this one. I honestly don't know. UConn's not great. Oklahoma's not great.
It's a pick'em.
It's a pick'em for me.
9. It's a pick'em.
I like UConn here a lot. I think. What was Oklahoma in the SEC? Weren't they like 10-12?
I think they were one of the losing record. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And you got a 9 seed? No, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go UConn just because Danny Hurley, back-to-back national championships. I think he's gonna have his guys. They're not making a run, but I think he's gonna have his guys up for this one. I think they'd be Oklahoma,
but no run.
I don't think they're going to run. They're just too inconsistent. UConn's a little too inconsistent for me this year.
Yeah, makes sense. Next up, we've got the number 1 Florida Gators playing the number 16 seed Norfolk State. Now, news came out, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it might have been today. Norfolk State's coach is not pleased with the spread of 28.5 points. He asked the media, is his team really that bad?
Do somebody.
Hey,
this is why we play the games.
Hey, Alabama State covered the spread.
This is why you play the games. You feel some type of way? Show me on the court.
I'm giving Norfolk State the spread though, but I
can see Norfolk State covering that, but I ain't no chance in HE double hockey sticks that they're beating Florida.
The entire Florida basketball team got food poisoning.
Have y'all seen this guy from Florida? This guy that's 7'9"?
Yeah, and he just stands up and does the rebound drill. Like
he cut the net. He cut the net just standing there.
Standing, yeah. Well, when he reaches up full extension, he's 10 feet. Like.
And he does he gets a couple. I don't know his stats, but he doesn't play.
Well, would you? You're there to be tall.
No, I'm saying he's. I don't think he's a starter, right?
No, he's not.
But
he's
it doesn't mean you're athletic. You can move the floor. You can dribble.
I've watched videos of this guy walk. He looks athletic.
Yeah, he's athletic enough, but he's there to be tall. Like he is there to be tall.
Right.
Like go there and go get in the paint. Let him body you down, but block it.
But see, the thing is nobody is bodying this man down in the paint. This man is 7'9", 305 pounds.
Hey,
there's a picture out there with Florida has some of the tallest guys in the country. They got 3 guys over 7 feet, and the other 2, there's a picture of the 3 of them standing together. He towers over the other 2. It's insane.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean that much. I mean, you could be that tall, but that doesn't mean you're Victor Wembanyama and got the grace with the handle, got the shot, got the blocking abilities.
That is fine. It's just insane to me.
Like Josh said, he's just out there to be a stick figure. Just be tall.
It's insane to me that there are people in this world that are that large. That should not be he was probably the guy that was walking through Grimes when that whole Naylor says that he saw walking when he talks about seeing Bigfoot.
The 7'9" is quite absurd. I'm not going to lie.
His mom is 6'5".
You can only have that from big tall parents. There's no way.
Yeah.
Short people don't have tall babies. So
Artie, you know my wife, and she last week she said something about I had to duck to get through something, and she was like, "You're not that tall." I was like, "I'm 6'2". I'm 6'1.5", 6'2", and she's like, "No, you're not." I said, her brothers, my wife's brothers, are 6'6" and 6'5".
You got tall brothers. Yeah.
I'm like, the only reason you think that I'm short, nobody else in the world really thinks that I'm short except for you.
Look,
the woman I married.
Your wife was just trying to humble you. That's all it was.
And I was like,
that, Jared. You're not that tall. Don't do that.
Like, it's not
she
my
was
fault.
Showing you how much you're loved.
I was like, geez.
It's not because of your height.
Jeez. I was like, anybody else would be like, yeah, my husband's over 6 feet. And then they would be happy about that. But no, she's calling me small. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Just a pet peeve from earlier this week. It had me feeling some type of way. All right. Yeah, Florida for the ship.
Florida all the way. Florida all the way.
I think right now in the bracket challenge, Josh and I are the only 2 that picked Florida to win it all.
Yes.
I've got Florida in my Final Four for sure.
That's cute.
My wife picked Michigan State If you want to know who picked that Michigan State,
I was wondering.
she's very excited to see Michigan State win it all.
Well, if they could put some buckets in the hole, maybe, but they can't shoot. Them boys ain't
They can't shoot a 3 for nothing.
can't shoot.
Oh boy. All right. Anything to wrap it up? Walk the plank. I'll say my walk the plank. Everybody's already been talking about it. Look, I get your top 40 in the net. You're 1-11, 1-12 in quad one wins. And really, to have a quad one win, that doesn't mean you have to beat a top 25 team in the country. That just means you have to beat somebody that's decent. Right? There's 300 some D1 basketball programs in the country. I don't know. I don't like the getting what is going on?
Nothing. You good?
Yeah. What's going on? Did I freeze?
No.
No, keep going, bro.
Josh is laughing. I don't know what he's laughing about. I'm not looking at him.
I'm sorry. I'm checking the Twitter sphere.
You got it, Jay. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
I was getting on my soapbox, Josh. No, the fact that Carolina got in, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, especially when there are teams out there like the West Virginias of the world that definitely had a better resume than Carolina. I don't like it. I don't know. We got to fix the process. And granted, this is coming from somebody that pulls for a school that's only been in the NCAA tournament twice, and both of those times were before the field expanded to 64. Right? Something's got to change with the selection process. Get these bracketologists, get 15, 20 bracketologists in there and let them set the bracket. Let's get the athletic directors out of it. Nobody should be making decisions when somebody in the room has something to gain financially for it, which Bubba Cunningham did. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah. Also, this is going to be my my one time saying this year. I'll say it every year. If you win your conference tournament, you should not have to play in the playing game. There, I said it. Anybody else walk the plank?
I agree with that. Don't. My only rebuttal to what you said is that it's a TV show, right? It's entertainment. West Virginia, Carolina, they're going to put Carolina in over West Virginia. It blue blood, marketing, TV ratings, money. It's entertainment at the end of the day. So they're going to put a Carolina in. It doesn't help your argument that they didn't win by like 30 points the other night. Like they blew San Diego State out. But I agree. I think West Virginia should have been in over them. But at the end of the day, we can't forget what it is. They're going to put in the better program for their brand over another team.
Josh?
Yeah, I don't have anything. I had to walk the plank earlier, and I've forgotten it. I didn't write it down. So
I feel like I had another one, but yeah, must not have been that important. All right, join our bracket challenge. Do it right now. We'll post the link. Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all. Make sure you follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast, at The Boneyard Podcast on TikTok. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple. I think we're on Amazon now. Subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. If you don't, Artemis?
Watch the damn plank.
There you go. And subscribe to our YouTube while you're at it. If you're watching us live right now, we appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button. That's always to have trouble with that word. And then, yeah, we love you. We love you, Pirate Nation. We'll see you next week.
As always, Power Nation, you know what to do. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Happy March Madness. Deuce.
Go Gators.